afternoon, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to our new module. We are in photo for or makeup for photography level 2, week 1. So we have 4 weeks of creative makeups. I think this is probably one of my favorite modules. I keep saying that, but it is, I guess, just the way they evolve. They're all great. I love this one. I'm sure some of you have already sort of explored the material. It's super creative, super like high fashion. It is like editorial, kind of glammed up. So it's just, you know, more areas to grow in terms of composition, design, and makeup play. I think the stronger we develop our skills from makeup fundamentals through till now, this is really good opportunity for you guys to really expand your creativity and come up with some really unique, innovative designs for your Instagram pages and your portfolios. So I think everybody did a great job last week. Your things have come in. I haven't opened up all of yours, but from what I've seen, you guys have done really great work. I like that everybody is really kind of becoming a bit more creative and not being so afraid. And I think that's kind of the hardest thing to do is sometimes get in our head and forget about the art part. So we're just going to retrain and just get those, the artist side of you really developed and encouraged. So this week we have 2 exercises to do. I've given you 2 of your mood boards. Now the mood boards that I've given you are in color. These ones are not, but these are based on the exercises that you are doing. We're going to spend a little bit less time talking this live video, and we'll get kind of right into the demos. Tomorrow for Zoom, I'm going to spend a little more talking about the details, and then that way it can be more of a conversation, and if you don't quite grasp something, you can easily just pipe in and we can have more of a conversation. So I want to concentrate on the second exercise, which is to create your lashes, and then you're going to add something avant-garde. So this is your exercise 2, and what I wanted to talk to you about is how to create lashes and how to change lash color. We spoke a little bit about this in our editorial module, or it was the runway, I'm not sure exactly, where I gave you that artist link and she was coloring her lashes with nail polish or nail lacquer. And that is amazing. That works really well. It does give you a certain look, but it is more opaque, and the varnish really does hide the black lashes. So it is an excellent kind of idea if that's what you're going for. If you want that vibrant lash, I want you to play around with that. You do have to do a few layers if you're going to do it with the nail lacquer, but it works wonderfully and beautifully. I think if anything, you just make sure you have a nail lacquer that is healthy. It's not too chunky or it's not too runny. So make sure that the paint in itself is good, and then you should have no problem. For the demo that I'm going to be doing today, I have Amber again here. She'll be coming in a little bit once I kind of show you the first part of this exercise. And then she's going to come in and I'm going to actually apply the lashes and create my look. What I wanted to talk to you guys about was doing your lashes in a different sort of way. If you're still going to use the nail lacquer, but for the design that I wanted to create, I didn't want a solid color of just a nail lacquer. I wanted a little bit more texture in it. So I also know that Amber has kind of darker lashes, and sometimes when you're doing the colored lashes, like the nail color lacquer lashes. They look really good with fair people because our lashes tend to be light and blonde, so we don't have to worry about kind of seeing the lashes. If I put like a lacquer, like a red, say I painted a lashes in red nail polish, putting that on Amber, her dark lashes would kind of see through that, and I just wouldn't like, that would bother me. Painting her lashes red is a little bit trickier, and you actually need aqua color paint, which is something that we can work, but again, it is something that you don't have in your kit, and I wanted to kind of provide some examples with what you have at your disposal. So I know all of you guys have the shimmers, and these shimmers are, I think you guys got a little one of gold and a little one of white or silver. You can use those, or you can find some other ones in your home. I know I have so many shimmer powders at home, so I have a lot to kind of choose from. At the school, they have some that kind of came in little tiny containers like this. So we're going to show you how to make your lashes so that just to use them with the shimmer powder. So these are the lashes I've kind of created here. They are kind of a shimmer color, but these were black, and I've actually stacked 2 sets of lashes together. I also have another pair here that I've done as well. I'm not sure. I always like to kind of have a bit of a backup because I don't know if you can, maybe if I go like that, you can sort of see more of the color. I'll flip that over to the side. Sort of see the texture a bit better. I like to have 2 sets of lashes ready to go. Sometimes one fits better than the other. Here, this one here, I have just painted a single that I might end up kind of chopping up later into little bits like this, so that I can just add those on her bottom set of lashes. Okay, so I'm going to get started and show you how to do those. So what you want to do is you first want to get a fresh kind of set of lashes. So you've got your kind of your basic black lash. So what I do here, I take my lash. I do have some clear nail polish, and that is just it's the C&D. Any clear nail polish will work. And then I've got a couple, I'm going to use a pot of this shimmer powder here. It's kind of a purpley color. I might even use this one on Amber. I can use this even layering on top of one of the other pairs I've done. So you want to take a bit of your shimmer powder, and you're going to kind of put it in a little bit of a pile on your paper. So I'm just going to sort of kind of try to even it out a bit here. All right. And you're going to take your clear nail polish. And what you want to do is just take the nail polish, and you're just going to paint over the lashes. I sort of tend to do 1/2 at a time so I can kind of hang on to it. And then you're going to take it and sort of run it into your powder. I like to sort of put it on both ends. And then you can sort of see how that's changing and turning into a different sort of color. You can keep doing that again and again and again until you're happy with the result. So I kind of go back and forth, and I just really feel like when you're using the clear nail polish, you want to make sure you're being generous with it, but not overly generous, where you're you know, making it clumpy, because you don't want that. So I kind of just toss it around, and then, oops, I'm just going to pull this back in. Just want to get the end a bit. You can scoop it up and put it on, and just kind of make sure it's nice and coated. So I'm really happy with the way that that has gone. Looks good, the coverage is good. And now, say for example, you could place one of these on top and just have like a bit of a copper and the purple, and sort of create sort of some texture and change. So that is kind of where I'm at right now. I've done my lashes for Amber. I might even add this third set in because I really like the color. So then there could be 3 layers of lash there, and that could look really quite nice on her eye. I'm gonna wait and see, because I just wanna make sure that she, her eye can handle it, and you know, they will be heavy. I could always put one of these underneath her lash and do it on the lower lash line, but at the same time I just want to make sure that her eye looks comfortable and works with that. Okay, so I think we're going to just take a couple seconds. I did want to say that I asked Amber today to bring in her black eyeliner. I want to do some black liner on her inner rim, and I wanted it to, I really wanted it for contrast, and then putting the lashes on top so that her eye is quite defined. So I will be using a pencil today. So just so you know, it is hers, and she has allowed me to apply it on her. So in the future, that is something that you can do. Again, we don't want to use our own pencils right now, as for reasons we have all made ourselves aware of for safety and hygiene. So yeah, that's all I'm going to mention right now. So I'm going to pull Amber in, and we're just going to kind of get set up. So give us about five or so minutes, and then I'll see you back here, and we'll start in with the demo. See you in a bit. on our demo, and I've got Amber here. She's joined us again for the third time, so thank you. I have my mask, my gloves on, I've sanitized, and I've already cleansed her face. I've cleansed, toned, and moisturized, so she's all sort of ready to go, and I've just been sort of going in with, while we're setting up, just with some concealing and correcting. I'm going to start to set in. I'm going to work on the eye area like I've done in the past, and then I'm going to come back with the foundation at the end and do the contour. I did her hair already just prior to this, just to kind of give it a finished look. I did sort of a loose French braid with these 3 strands. I incorporated 1 strand at a time, and then just did like kind of a half French braid to sort of keep it loose and sort of flowy. I think that's going to really kind of suit the look that I'm going to do. I want it very urethral. I'm going to have the lashes on her. She has blue eyes, so that's why I chose the lash to use the bronzier tone to hopefully bring her eye out. I'm going to go in with some black liner. I just wanted to take a little more time with this video, and just so you could sort of see a bit more of a kind of the finished end result with the hair included as well. So I'm just going to get started, and I'll just kind of talk my way through what I'm doing again, and I hope that if you have any questions, can you please just pipe in. I have your screen here. I see you all, so I'm excited to get started. Okay, so I'm going to set the look here with my favorite tempura eyeshadow. Just a nice clean one, and I like the creaminess of it. And I like to obviously work in this area first. Anytime I do sort of a more intense look on the eyes, I like to ensure that I don't do the skin first. It just can kind of mess it up. Okay, I'm going to get an angled brush now, and I'm going to define her eyebrow. I'm going to just use the NYX palette. I really like this brown in here. I like this taupe. So I'm going to start and just kind of mix those two. As you know, I really like tissue paper. And I find sometimes if you want something more of a sharper, more defined line, if you take a bit of your muscular water, you just put it down on your palette, just a little bit, and you just kind of get it slightly wet, you can kind of get more of a solid line, having applied it wet versus dry. I'm going to add a bit more darkness in there just to match Amber's natural brow color. Just going to have her open her eye, and then just look, and I'm going to place her arch about there. You can close. I'm going to darken again. This is pretty much quite of a light tone on her, so I am going to darken it once more after I create the shape. your foundation brush. It's always great to have as a little bit of an eraser should you need it. As well as your concealer brush. Okay, now I'm going to take and get a little bit of a black. I've got a Makeup Forever, I've got this black here. I like to take it and get it a little bit on the brush, get it saturated, and then I take it all off. And then what I do is I fill in the brow again, and it just takes the edge off the orange, and it becomes less obvious of a fill. Just turn this way for me. And it tones again down that kind of copperness that sometimes oranges can sort of do. Or browns, I mean. Okay, I'll get a mascara one, and I always like to just run through, and that kind of softens your brow again as well. Okay, so now just going to finish off down here. And then I can add anything else. A bit later. I do like to keep the lower part a little more relaxed. I'm going to put a bit of hairspray now on my mascara wand, and then I'm just going to lift this up. Just to hold everything in place. Just got one little stray there, I might tweeze in a little bit. We'll do that later. Okay, so now I'm going to start in on sort of adding some of the shimmer that I want. And I have a Kat Von D palette here. Oh no, that's not the one I wanted, the Makeup Forever. It's a really nice sort of white silver color. I'm going to use that to start. And I just want to put it kind of a little bit all over here. My goal was to have her very, like I say, iridescent-y, really angelic. And I can always go back in and punch that up after I put the eyeshadow down when I put the foundation on top. So my next move is I'm going to do some eyeliner. Now the eyeliner, what I want to do is, again, this is Amber's eyeliner. She brought it from her home. It's actually a good quality one, so I'm happy. I'm going to go in and I'm going to actually do her waterlines first, and then that way she can close and I can do the other part of it, and then I can go back in and fix. So I'm going to have Amber look down, and I'm just going to have her look this way, and then I'm going to lift, and I'm just going to go in this side. Does that feel okay?
Tickles.
Tickles, I know, right? I know. Are you going to water?
No, I'm
okay,
good.
Okay, because I can like take a, you know, I'm going to take a break. Often your models will have watery eyes when you go in with one of these. it's there's such fine little hairs in the inner corner. Almost the inner corner is the worst part to do it in. Okay, so I'm going to go on this side. I'm going to lift up. Does that tickle still? Mm-hmm. Do you do your waterline at all? Do you do your waterline?
Not very often.
Not often, no.
No.
No. This will change your life. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have the eyeliner right close to the whiteness because it makes your eye pop. Okay, close your eye. Does it feel comfortable to close? Do you want a Q-tip?
No,
It's fine?
I think
Okay.
it's good.
Okay. And then I'm going to try to get in into that lash line, and I'm trying to get in that area in between all her lashes. Because when I put her the lashes that I have on top, I don't want to see any skin. So you really want to take that time to get in there and get that done. Okay, and open. Okay, and you can see her eye now looking really like popping because her eye is so blue. Great. Okay, and then I'm going to just get you to look that way and up. And I'm going to try to get in here. This one always kind of doesn't last as long. I'm going to clean that up in a bit. Look straight up. Good. And then that's really kind of clearing off your eye. And I'm just going to bring it over out this way just to get that shape. Good. Now I am going to just smooth out those edges. I love this brush for that. It's just kind of a dome brush. It's nice and fluffy, and then I can brush it. When I do this, I bring it in and soften it into the line instead of pull it out, because that'll just create a bigger black line and area, which I don't want. I really just want this to be nice and tight for the purpose of the lashes. Okay, and open. Again, this one is just a little bit runnier, and I'm not even really going to worry about it looking perfect until the end when I can sort of get my lashes on and see where I'm going, and then I'll be able to clean it then. I don't want to do cleaning several times, just better to do it at the end. I used to be that person that as soon as I made a mistake or as soon as I did something and it was like, ooh, I would clean it. I've learned in my time as a makeup artist that it's just better to do it all at the end, and it saves you so much time. Some things even get covered, you don't even need to worry about cleaning them. Okay, so I'm actually going to put some duo now, just some of your eyelash glue. Amber doesn't have any allergies to latex, so I don't have to worry about that. And I just like to measure, open, oh, sorry, whoops. Oh, good thing I didn't drop it. And just kind of open if you can. Okay, good. So Amber's got quite a big eye, so I don't even have to do any trimming. I think I'm going to go in. The thing that you guys have to remember of duo is it takes a long time for it to kind of react. So even while that's sitting, I'm just going to wait. I find I have way more success if I let it sit for a bit. So I'm going to take a bit of my bronze pigment that I used, and I wanted to use this color on Amber because she has her nice blue eyes, and I wanted to make sure that I really brought that out. So I'm going to pull out some of the shimmer that I'm using on the lids. On the eyelashes, I'm going to put a bit of that same one on the lid. And I'm going to start right in here. And it's okay if I have to build. Shimmers are sometimes so scary because they have so much color that they can really go on quite strongly. So I really am very careful when I'm doing my shimmers. Gonna blend that out. And then I'm going to pop in a little bit of the Venetian red from the Modern Renaissance, just to punch it up a bit. All right, I'm going to just put a little more black liner, just close, just right over here. And then I'm going to attempt to put the lashes on. Again, these are 2 stacked lashes, so it's a little bit of a, it's more challenging than putting on 1 set of lashes. I've tried to make the rim, so I'm just kind of going to make the rim relatively thin. You want to put a generous amount of your duo on, but again, you don't want to put too much. Sort of put in a little bit. Just to wave it around a little bit. And I'm just going to stick it in the middle first. And it's not tacky quite yet, so I'm just going to wait. I think if you sit and you keep fiddling with lashes, it's sometimes the worst thing to do. When it's tacky, it's ready. Some people put it out at the very beginning of their service because they like it that tacky. Just going to watch that. And I'm just going to tell Amber to keep her eye closed. And I think that's going to be good here. I'm just going to go back in with a little bit of liner. So what I want to do is take, I'm actually going to take my what I use for the brow pencil, and I'm just going to take some of this off here because I want to be gentle and go in and kind of clean that line up, but I don't want to fuss too much with the lashes. Good. And then I want to take a little detail brush and I'm going to just go in with a bit more of that shimmer onto my brush, and I do want to go onto that black line with some of that shimmer, just sort of soften it from this angle because I really wanted it more on the inner line. Than the outer. Okay, just want to put in a little bit more of my Makeup Forever, a little bit more of that white in here. Getting this blend. Okay. Now let's see if Amber can slowly open her eye. Good, perfect. How is that? Does it feel a little heavy, right? You'll get used to it. I always find that people will get used to eyelashes. It takes them a little bit. Let's sort of see if I can lift them. There we go. Yeah, awesome. Okay. Do you want to, is it easier to just keep them closed for a little bit? We'll be a bit of time still. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go into her face now and do her foundation, sort of get all of that done, and then at the last moment, because the lashes are heavy and it's something that's obviously not a day or evening look, it's kind of going to be for photography. It could be for runway, but I'm going to add a lot more shimmery stuff. I'm going to add foundation, get her to keep her eyes closed, and then once I get her to open them again, I'm going to actually snip a pair apart of the other pair of lashes I have and individually pop them in just for more of a visual effect. So I'm just going to get started at that. I'm going to use the Makeup Forever 225 for her coverage today. Just going to do a little test. I did kind of want it a little bit lighter. Amber did get a lot of sun on the weekend, but for this look, I didn't want to quite match her skin tone because I just wanted to keep that angelic sort of feeling. If this happens in real life, you would do a body coverage. And that's something that as a makeup artist you'd be expected. One of the great products is that it's a very inexpensive product, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but it's the Airbrush Leg and Body. It's a really good product for to have in your kit, just for actors that have to wear skirts and they've got, you know, white legs and they want darker legs, they go to makeup. So a lot too for continuity. Amber was in a movie and she was, or a TV series, and she went away for the weekend and came back like this, and we were shooting a different day, and maybe we shot part of that day last week and now we're shooting the second half of that scene. Well, we can't have her 3 shades darker, so that would be your job to fix that. Be careful too, if you're working with another person that's doing the hair, you want to make sure that you're not messing their work up. So if something like this is bothering you, talk to the hairdresser and ask, or stylist, and ask if they have a clip, so that you're not messing with it. right, I've got some of this white powder, MAC, and I'm going to set her foundation. Okay, time for some good old contour. Got my two contour parts here. And I'm going to use the Hula by Benefit. I really like this shade. It's a nice one. It's quite universal. Works with a lot of different skin tones. I'm going to gently just pull this back, and I'm going to create her contour. Part of her contour is covered, but I still like to do a nice contour. I might even go a bit more intense with this one if I can. Only because her hair is kind of hiding part of it. So. Pull this braid out a little bit. All right. I'm going to get a different brush now and do some highlighting. I do want to put that all in here. And I do want to take it up the top. Want her very shimmery. I'm going to use some blusher. I've got two of these Makeup Forever containers. They're magnetic, and it's nice. I sort of keep all my neutrals in one, and then I keep sort of my I kind of used this last week, more of my my brights in the other. They've got these little sticker things that have magnets that you can put onto the bottom. I like them because they just kind of, if I can't bring my whole kit, I can just bring these and I know I've got most colors. I use sort of a paler pink here. And then I'll just go back in with my white powder. And just kind of soften in here. Make sure her jawline stays out. I'm just going to just pull off some of her lipstick here. Didn't notice it in the initial. It's a little bit too orangey for what I want. Line those lips. And I'm going to powder those to set. Okay, I'm going to put some lip color on her. I think you guys have this MAC one. So pretty. And I'm going to use actually quite a light one here. I'm going to use the top one. If you ever want to lighten a color that you have existing, you can always mix it with a bit of balm. And that always helps. Let me use this. You can always use concealer even too if you don't want it to be, or if you don't have any balm, or if your balm is a little bit too oily. Just open your mouth a bit. Okay. All right. Okay, so now I am going to cut my lashes. So I've got one already set here. So I'm just going to see, I'm going to cut it. And then we're going to go right in. I'm going to get Amber to open her eyes again. And then we're just going to kind of clean up the bottom. And we'll go from there. So I'm going to take these with a bit of tweezer here. And then I'm going to dip it in the duo. Okay, and then I'll just get Amber to open her eye. And I just want to add, just look up for me if you can. That's wonderful, thank you. And then I'm going to add a few of these. And I'm going to cut just a few more. Oops. Like that one. I'm just kind of spacing them apart. Got another one here. Place that in. And then I'm going to add just one tiny one more. Put that up at the top there. Good. I'm going to see if I can just sort of manipulate just a little bit more to kind of lift it up. It's got a little fluff, I see. Do you feel that?
I think that feels better.
Yeah, because I think there's a little fluff there. All right, I'm going to get my pencil. I'm going to actually sharpen my pencil now. Again, I have a sharpener. And I just want to do a little more precision around the lashes. Get her look this way. And I'm just going to just really strengthen that black. And I'm going to get you to look up. And look down. And then I'm just going to see about getting under here again, going really quite fast. And that's going to really open up her eye and give her that darkness. You can all sort of see. Good. And I think I'm kind of closing in on my demo. So if anybody wants to ask any questions, or if they're, please ask away. I'm going to put in a little more red. I always like this time. You can kind of go in and start, detailing. It's always nice when you're sort of finished doing kind of the initial of what you thought, and then you can kind of go back in and do some tweaking. Oh, I forgot. I wanted to add my favorite part. I almost forgot. I'm going to add some of this blue, this turquoise, into this area. I wanted a little bit of contrast, and can't believe I almost forgot this part. So glad I didn't. Look up. I thought this would look nice with the copper tone here. It's pigment's not coming out how I want it, so I am going to get my other, or just get some of the Garnier again, and that sometimes helps with pulling out the color. All right, guys. So that's pretty much the look. So again, this is our exercise 2. So it is our kind of create your own lashes and then add something sort of avant-garde, anything that's just kind of a little bit exciting or different. I chose to use a lot of shimmers in my look. I painted my lashes with 2 different colors, gold and copper. I did it with a shimmer powder and nail varnish. I then stacked the 2 lashes on the top, and then did little individual ones along the bottom. And this would be quite effective on camera. It would catch the light nicely. It would be something that you always have to do with your models, is quite often you would say close your eyes and then let them rest, because these are quite heavy. And then the camera, the operator would I'm going to take this off because I can. The camera operator would say on 3, and then it would kind of be 1, 2, and then the model would open her eye really wide, and that way you could capture it really well. Yeah, so if we had Amber close her eye, and we'll give it a go, 1, 2, 3, and then she could open her eye and hold it. After time, you'll see Amber probably getting her eyes slowly closing. They're pretty heavy, eh?
Yeah, it's getting better.
And they always say too, when you put lashes on, with my brides, I often ask them if they want lashes. They're like, I've never worn them. And I say, well, just give it a try. And I put them on and they're like, no, 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 no. And I'm like, just give it 10 minutes and then we'll talk about it again. And well, after 10 minutes, they just kind of get used to them. They sort of settle in and they're not near as heavy, and like they almost feel like they're blocking your sight. And somehow, I don't know if we get used to not being able to see or what it is, but yeah. So any questions, you guys? I don't see any coming through. But tomorrow we will go on Zoom again at 10. I think it will be a little bit longer of a session just because we're going to really go over all the details, which I normally do here. But this way, I just wanted to try something different this week just to see, you know, if it was a better conversation with going over everything together instead of me just kind of drilling through it. So we're going to give that a go tomorrow. So at 10 a.m., I will see you on Zoom, and we will talk about this makeup, and we will talk about your exercise 1 as well, what's expected to you for your practical. All right, you guys. I hope you have a good evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Ciao. All right. I'm going to take some pictures.
Of course.